the difference, of course, between what um, Princess of Wales, the King and Queen, and the other members of the British royal family, particularly what are now called the working royals, are doing, is that they are working for us, for the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, and they work very hard, and they do an incredible amount, and they do their duty very faithfully. The difference between Harry and Meghan is that they're doing it in a sense of themselves. I mean, they have to make money, they have to keep pushing themselves forward, and they may espouse all sorts of very worthy and important causes, but it's different. It's not being done for Britain and the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth in the same way. And it's a great shame because the late Queen gave the Commonwealth to Harry and Meghan for them to promote, and they were both so interested in it. I mean, he was very good at it, and she too, even before she married, had been very interested, like a lot of sort of actresses, had been doing humanitarian work. She'd addressed the United Nations, she'd been out in Africa and things. It seemed a perfect fit. It's very sad that that didn't work. And that is the crucial difference. You're either doing it for, putting things into the world and doing your duty, or you're doing it for yourselves. And that's the problem, basically. We've missed the Princess of Wales, Catherine, a lot this year. But of course, every time that she does appear, for example, particularly Trooping the Colour and at Wimbledon, particularly at Wimbledon, the enormous response that she got from the crowd, and the welcome, and the really genuine respect and affection for her was enormous. And I think it's lovely that she's going to come to the balcony of the former Home Office on Sunday to witness the laying of wreaths at the cenotaph. That is something which, of course, it's not wouldn't be a testing engagement, because they are there just for the time when there's the 2 minute silence and the laying of the wreaths, and then the short service that follows. So I suppose that's about 30 minutes, possibly 40 minutes at the maximum. And she doesn't actually have to sort of do anything, but we will be very pleased to see her. And, we hope that every time that we see her, it's an indication that she's getting better, and that she will, in the fullness of time, be able to do more things. She has been doing a few other things as well. And of course, she does also do, as I understand it, quite a number of appearances at the school and the school run, and she is out and about with the children quite a lot. So she's not, although she can't do royal duties, she is, she's doing as much as she can. But also, we must respect the fact that the priority is for her to get better, and that she must be allowed what one could call time and space to do that. And that's the real priority, because we want her to be well. We don't want her to rush back before she's ready to do so. But anyway, let's look forward to seeing her on Sunday very much. I'm sure the papers on Monday will have lots of photographs of Catherine on the balcony. I think that President Trump was aware that Harry and Meghan caused her great distress in the last years of her life. And there's no question that that's true. So given that Prince Harry probably misinformed people about his drug taking activities when he was applying for the visa to come to America, there's no reason why he shouldn't be treated like anybody else. And I can see President Trump chucking him out. Now, there's a little bit of evidence, if you think about it, that Prince Harry is aware of this, because evidently they've bought this property in Portugal. And so maybe that was done in advance so that they've got somewhere to retreat to should this particular event take place. I cannot fathom the mind of President Trump, and I obviously can't predict what Prince Harry thinks, but I would think that he would do well to be concerned about it, because it is definitely an issue. It has been raised before, and therefore it's on the table, and it could easily happen. I mean, something like that, would be. Let me also say, of course, it's quite possible that a lot of people are rather worried about this new presidency, and several people that I know have said, "Oh, would they'd really like to leave the country?" That may be a trigger reaction, but it may possibly be that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle decide that they don't want to live under a Trump presidency, and therefore they might relocate to Europe. And of course, they might decide to do that on their own initiative, which of course is always very sensible, because it avoids the stigma of being chucked out and all that sort of thing. So, I can't do anything except guess. I would say there is a possibility that President Trump will kick him out, and there's a possibility that he will go of his own accord. Some people are suggesting, that President Trump's already had one go in the White House when he made a lot of bizarre statements about things that he was going to do and so forth. And he has a second chance now. He's been out of power for 4 years, and it may well be that he takes a rather different approach to everything this time. So I think we must wait and see what he does. And I would say Prince Harry, frankly, was very low on his agenda. But on the other hand, if he wanted to make a bit of a splash, when he comes in on the 20th of January, he might decide to do that. I don't think it would be greatly to his credit if he did. And equally, I think that it's a little bit like the question of Prince Andrew leaving Royal Lodge. It would be so much more dignified if Prince Andrew said, "Look, actually, I don't need such a big house and I'm going to go somewhere else and go quietly," rather than, all the speculation as to whether the king wishes to chuck him out, which I'm sure he doesn't. I mean, he may wish to take over Royal Lodge, but I don't think he wishes to do his brother any harm. And likewise, Prince Harry might do well to think, well, does things with Invicta Games. He's been over here a few times doing things, and Portugal is a very good location, very accessible for Europe, and maybe they can make more of an impact there. So I think it's a question of watch this space.